I think that in honor of the sad news that our nation received last night, we owe it to the people to dedicate this to the loving memory of Queen Elizabeth.
And I'm gonna say, mocking boy.
Mocking boy. I was questioning whether or not to start it out like that or to talk about how I have more respect for Lyndon Johnson now that Queen Elizabeth is dead. Oh, you gotta squeeze a nose like that, babes. You squeeze it like this.
Okay, then I'll squeeze it like that.
Oh my goodness. Let's get into this.
Oh no, I said no, I didn't want to talk about it.
We'll make it quicker. It'll go faster if we just get it out of the way. So I am not a fan of the royal family. And in some ways, even though I'm not a big user of the term white privilege, I think to myself, well, if you were to use that term, who's more white privileged than the royal family, right?
Jeez.
Like they didn't what?
Well, I'm gonna go there again.
I mean, at least the Republicans actually have to steal elections. Hold on. But these people don't even have to do that.
Ugh.
And yesterday it came out, the sad news of the death of Queen Elizabeth. Commentators were on TV talking about this is historic. She has been the reigning monarch since 1952.
That's right.
That's more than any U.S. president, obviously. And to put it in more perspective, they said that she was ruling for 30% of our nation's history. And she got into office, or the castle, however you want to say it, the year that Eisenhower left the White House, I believe.
Okay.
Or was elected out. And he technically left in 53.
Yeah.
But my whole thing is, she never really had that much power because by the time she took over, it was basically a figurehead thing.
Yeah, but what?
Hold on, I have a few more things to say about her. And we're dedicating this to her.
Yeah. Even though I said no.
Oh my goodness.
I don't want to talk about it because I know what you're going to do.
And I have always found it weird how people in this country hold the royal family in such high esteem because their job is basically to be rich snobs.
Yeah, but you're coming at this from an American perspective that doesn't care, from a perspective, right? You have your own perspective of it, but you're looking at them as just British rich people.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's because, I mean, now keep in mind, I don't know much about the royal family, but to her credit, she really did mean something to the people of Britain. And there were some people, I guess, that were divided as far as who honored the monarchy and who didn't, I guess. I'm guessing, I heard that the British Isles were divided on that. I don't know much about their history. But she did mean something to the people of Britain. And she she reigned for a very, very long time, longer. I guess it's like they're saying that it was the end of an era now. And now King Charles III now is going to be king.
Okay, I actually wasn't done talking yet.
Okay.
And one, we don't live in England. We live in America. And let's talk about how crazy things are with America with this lady. I go on Apple's website because I had heard that they are doing an update to the iPhone. And I'm not going to get the new one, but I was just curious. And on their website, they say something like Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, 1922 to 2022, or some nonsense like that on their homepage.
So?
And I thought to myself, this is an American company. And it even goes further than that. Ugh. What? Hold on, babes.
I told you I didn't want to talk about it.
But that's where we're getting it out of the way, because that way we can move on to
Yeah, but you didn't. I said I would think about it, and I never even gave you an answer. You're like, we're going to talk about it anyway.
Well, babes, we're a country in mourning right now.
Ugh. I love how you go on these crazy rants.
Okay. I'm a fan of John Iadarola, but I watched a clip from the damage report yesterday, and I guess they were live when the news came out. I wasn't able to watch it live yesterday. I was doing other stuff.
Yeah.
And he was on there with Francesca Fiorentini, and they said, it's the Queen died, and they were both remarking, well, isn't it amazing that she was able to reign for 70 years? And I thought to myself, she's basically in public relations.
Yeah, but
she didn't make any policies.
Yeah, but you even said that you don't know much about the royal family because you choose not to know about them, and you're assuming that she was just in public relations. But I heard that she did a lot more for the British people. I don't know a lot about, like I said, I don't know a lot about the history of the monarchy, but to her, in her defense, she really did mean something to the British people, whether you wanted to think so or not. You have to at least give her that.
But why do we have to focus on it so much in America?
Well, why don't you ask a person from England?
My brother-in-law is from England. And so far, I haven't gotten any texts from my sister saying that he's, near suicidal because of this lady's death.
Well, I mean, it sounds to me, and I'm just an outsider looking at this, it sounds to me that she wasn't just an influence in England, but she was an influence globally, just like Diana was an influence globally. So something about the royal family has captivated Americans. I don't quite understand that necessarily because I don't know much about them, but people are fascinated with the royal family, and at least try to show a little bit of respect.
In my
even if you don't care,
humble opinion, I think they have really good PR. And they're okay. Let me ask you a question. This isn't a knock on Trump, okay. But what roughly do you think Donald Trump's net worth is? And I know you don't have the exact
I really
number.
don't know. I'm guessing it's probably close to the billions, or maybe I don't know.
So would you say 2 billion? More than that?
I'm gonna get okay. So I don't know, but
yeah.
I'm gonna guesstimate it's at least 2 billion.
Okay,
maybe.
Did you know that people have speculated that Buckingham Palace, her home, is worth an estimated $5 billion? So, and I know you just made a guess on Trump, and you don't know the exact numbers, but based on your guess, her home of an ex-president is worth more than twice as much as he is, and she grew up there. So how in touch could you really be with common folk if you grew up in that environment?
Yeah, but come on, though. I mean, we're talking about two different countries, okay? We're talking about our country versus their country. I don't know how things are running in the UK. I don't understand how the monarchy works. At least give them at least think about them as a country, because from what I've been hearing, she has treated her subjects with humility and graciousness, and nobody has really said a whole lot of things about her as a person that would cause someone to scratch their heads. Like, there were no, as far as I know, there weren't any scandals surrounding her. Just like not like Charles and Diana, but with her, she kind of, it sounded like she did what she did her job well. I don't know what all she does, what all she did as queen, but I understand from what I've been hearing that she did have a duty to her nation, and she did work. She did work for her nation. So you can't say that she's not doing anything, or she didn't do anything.
Basically, babes, what you do as a queen and as a king, by the way, this isn't like a sexist thing. It goes for pretty much every member of the royal family. You host banquets, you cut some ribbons once in a while, and maybe occasionally you'll give a speech. And that's it. That's your whole job.
That's the cynical Rick talking.
Oh my goodness.
You
And you also, on occasion, you will have a few dignitaries as guests at your $5 billion home.
How would you know that? You don't even know anything about the royal family. And to tell you the truth, I don't either, but I would imagine that they do stuff. They don't just host banquets, cut ribbons, and invite dignitaries over. I'm sure that there's a lot more to her queenly duties that she did.
No, that's why you have Parliament and the Prime Minister.
I don't know, Buzz. All I'm saying is, at least in her defense, she did mean something to Britain, even if you don't care.
And again, I just don't see why it's such a big deal that an American tech company has to have a thing about her on their web. Oh, what?
We've already talked about that.
All right.
Oh, seriously.
Oh my goodness.
See, I have to keep this boy in line because he tends to like to kind of
make sense.
No, go through rabbit holes and never come out of them until I tell him you should. You know.
And again,
rabbit hole wig.
Well, I have very mixed feelings about Lyndon Johnson.
I haven't heard a lot of glowing things about that man.
And there's good arguments to be made against him. Because he got us, or at least escalated things in Vietnam, and he lied to do it.
Uh-huh.
He made up the Gulf of Tonkin incident. So that's horrible. And he was a racist. Like
I heard about that.
He was he was friends with members of the KKK. He used a racist language in private, and we know this because of all the people and recordings that are out there. And yet, he passed more positive civil rights legislation than any other president in U.S. history.
That boggles my mind, because if he's supposed to be this racist, then why would he pass civil rights legislation?
Along with that, he fought for voters' rights. So we think of Black people were oppressed because of Jim Crow, and that's true. But there's also other things he did for voting rights in this country. And he fought for affordable housing. So he is a very mixed bag in my mind.
I don't understand why he would be fighting for voters' rights, especially for minorities, when it sounds to me like he didn't like Black people. And
he was a complicated person.
I don't understand that.
And I don't know if you could go as far as to say he didn't like Black people, as he thought they were inferior to him.
Okay. Well, that pretty much means that you think of them as less of a person.
I read, as you know, a 4-part biography on Lyndon Johnson that will one day hopefully be a 5-part biography. But as of now, only the first 4 parts have come out. Wow. And Robert A. Carroll, you're like 89 years old, bro. No, that ain't even a joke. We gotta get you out here before you visit the Queen of England, right?
Oh my goodness.
I would be willing to read this biography again with you.
Wow. Did it say that part 5 was coming?
Yes, it was. And originally, babes, he started work on this book in the 1970s, right after Lyndon Johnson died. The author did. And it was supposed to be 3 parts, and it just kept expanding and expanding.
Wow. Well, yeah, he better start now, because he may not be around in 10 years.
Yeah, no kidding. Do you want to read these books with me?
I don't know. Are they long?
Yeah, each book is in audio form, like 40 hours roughly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Something to think about. Wow.
It is.
That's a lot.
We might do that next year.
Wow.
Yes. But it's really in-depth stuff, and it's pretty good. But he was the only U.S. president from the time of Eisenhower until Joe Biden that never met with the Queen of England.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And he was, wow, that's...
Every other president in her time met with her.
Wow.
How do you feel about this?
That's interesting.
I
don't know how I feel about that, honestly.
Yes. Well, good. Well, I hope you research LBJ there, Jaylo.
Oh.
Yes. And we can move on from the Queen now.
Thank you.
Yes. I mean, one last thing. I did tell you this morning, because your sister has a birthday tomorrow, to please pass along my condolences, because I know that she must be in a lot of pain now. And knowing that her birthday has to live in the shadow.
Oh my goodness.
Of such a horrific chapter.
Okay. Okay, you're mocking.
Sorry,
boy.
babes, I didn't know.
I don't kiss mocking.
I don't either, so give me a kiss.
No.
Yeah, go ahead.
You're
Go
mocking.
ahead. Because you need a kiss.
I do?
Yeah, so come on.
Oh my goodness.
And
Yes.
yesterday was also a very important day because it was the 56th anniversary of, Jaylo, go ahead.
I don't even remember.
The airing of the very first episode of Star Trek.
Oh, that I keep forgetting.
Well, actually, not the first episode, that was The Cage, but the first American broadcast of Star Trek, I should say.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Well, I forgot about that completely.
Oh.
But I know you would know that because you're a big Star Trek fan.
Exactly.
Oh, Twacky. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
But we can move on from the Queen.
Thank you.
Yes. And let's talk about my own impending demise. Jaylo.
Yeah.
I thought you were in favor of doctor assisted suicide.
I never said that.
That was my interpretation.
Yeah. Apparently you weren't paying attention.
We were joking around this morning. It came out that I'm incorrect. So the way I understand it, and please excuse me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
You feel that if somebody, like let's say I leave here tomorrow and I get hit by a bus.
Yeah.
And they say, Rick's pretty much dead. We could leave him alive now in a lot of pain, or we could pull the plug now and he'll die in a couple
I already
hours.
know what you're going to... I already know what you're
I know, but I'm
do.
trying to get your take.
Okay.
You would be okay with them pulling the plug.
Yes, the only reason is because you would be okay with it.
Okay, but you wouldn't see it as like God sending Rick to hell and me along with him because I said it's okay to pull the plug. You wouldn't look at it like that.
No, because you told me yourself you wanted to go really fast.
Nice. And you have said in the past that if a Christian person commits suicide, it doesn't mean that they're going to get excluded from going to heaven.
No.
And I've heard other Christians say that. And because the rationale I've heard is that not believing in Jesus is the only sin,
Right.
but the reason you would go to hell for committing suicide is because you can't live to repent for it. And so you would go to hell for committing suicide.
I don't agree with that.
And I'm glad that you don't.
No, I don't, because that's absolutely ludicrous, whoever said that.
Okay.
Because there are passages in the Bible of people who never got a chance to repent. And in fact, one of the robbers that was on a cross next to Jesus, one of them asked him to remember him before he goes back to heaven.
Oh.
And he said, "Today you will be with me in paradise." So that basically means that even if he wasn't able to repent in life, this person would still be able to ask for forgiveness and go to heaven after he dies.
Interesting.
So for someone to say that they would never live to repent, that's not true.
Yeah, I think they were trying to say that, and this discussion happened years ago, so it may be a little bit muddled in my mind.
Okay.
But because I think we had discussed murder, and they said it's not that murder is okay, but you could still go to heaven if you murdered, if you repented. Yeah. But then suicide came up, and that was the rationale behind why you would go to hell if you committed suicide.
that's absolutely false.
Okay.
That's absolutely false.
Nice. And now let's get on to your beliefs. So based on that stuff, I thought you were, if not in favor of doctor-assisted suicide, at least on some level okay with it.
No, I was never okay with it.
And I was very, very disturbed this morning.
No, I was never okay with giving people a lethal cocktail to kill them off. No.
So I'm going to give you a scenario.
Oh, jeez.
You already know that I am 100% in favor of doctor-assisted suicide. In fact, there's an argument that it should be done more. But that's a completely different discussion. Let's say you and I get married, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know, a couple years later, I get like a horrible, debilitating disease. And they say, Rick, you're going to die in 3 weeks. And by the way, thanks to the nature of this disease, you are going to be in incredible pain until you pass away. The most intense pain you could ever imagine. But they say, but luckily, Rick, you're a lib and you live here in the state of Oregon. So we have doctor-assisted suicide and we can put you out of your misery. But, because you're not really of sound mind right now, because you're in all this pain, we're going to leave that decision to your lovely wife, Miss Jaylo. And
my name wouldn't be Miss Jaylo after that.
Oh, good point. I was just making sure you're listening.
I guess I was.
Now, I'm in excruciating pain, so I'm just like hardly here talking to myself or screaming about why won't the pain stop. But from our various discussions that I would prefer doctor-assisted suicide than to just live in pain. So why you wouldn't choose it for yourself if you are, I guess, in charge of me at that point? Will you allow the doctors to put me out of my misery?
I don't know if I could do that. That would be really hard. And doesn't the doctors have to take a note that says do no harm?
And a doctor might make the argument, babes, and I have known people in the medical field.
First do no harm.
First do no harm. That, yes, that's true. And you could, on the surface, look at it like we're killing somebody. But a doctor could say, we're putting somebody out of their misery who's going to die in a couple of weeks anyway. But we're just making sure that they're not in extreme pain for any longer than they need to be.
Yeah, I
love that rationale.
I just couldn't agree with that.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I just think it's so inhumane. I think it would be better if they just it would be a different scenario if they had you on life support and you were pretty much brain dead, because they would, just let him get off of life support and let him die peacefully.
But I'm telling you that I think it would be more inhumane just to live in complete agony.
But what if they give you a lethal cocktail and it's a lot worse than what you could have endured had you not taken it? I'm just saying.
I have researched suicide before. This was in my younger days, and out of curiosity. And I remember, but when I clarified my younger days, I realized that could make it sound like it was last week or when I was 5. So for some clarification, I was a teenager.
So you're probably like about 16, say.
Maybe 19, 18 or 19.
18 or 19. Okay.
So this was still a long time ago.
Yeah.
It wasn't last week or anything like that.
Okay.
And I remember researching, what happens to you if you take a whole bunch of sleeping pills to off yourself?
Yeah.
What I heard, and it varied, but one of the things was, depending on the person, the pills, and their blood chemistry, you could suffer for several hours before you die.
Uh-huh.
Having said that, if we're in the end of life scenario, and I'm in massive pain anyways, I think 4 hours of a little bit more suffering is better than several weeks.
Yeah, but you don't know how it's going to go because, as you know, pills work different in everybody's bodies.
Yeah.
So your body chemistry, your blood chemistry can affect how the pills work. So you don't know how it's going to go. It could be a breeze, or it could be the most excruciating pain, even worse than what you're experiencing.
But they could also, because they're, medical doctors and they have more access to stuff than I do, they could, how like with little kids, when they put them under, they put something over their nose. And it's like this gas goes into their nose and it puts them out.
Like a gas mask?
Yeah.
I've had that happen to me.
Yeah, and I had that happen to me when I had my tonsils taken out.
Yeah, and it was pretty quick, and I didn't even know that I was asleep until I woke up.
They could also just put me out and then just keep the mask on me and crank it up to full volume until I'm just completely out of it.
Oh, geez.
And I think that they'd probably do something like that. If they told you they're going to do that to me and it'll be very quick, would you allow it?
I don't know.
We got to come to some consensus on this.
Why? I mean, you're assuming that you're assuming that this is the way that you're going to die, as far as whether it's cancer or
we don't have to agree on this today,
Uh,
but if we ever want to, like,
why would you even have to make me make that decision?
I'm telling you why. If we ever want to have a real discussion about possibly one day getting married, we will have to, because and I don't want to die of a terminal disease. You already know.
No.
I want it to be one of those situations where I don't know what's going on. And so that way when friends are talking about me on the phone afterwards, we'll just be like, yeah, Ricky just died all of a sudden. I don't even think he was aware of it. I want people to discuss me like that when they first hear that I died. I want them to be in shock because it's so quick.
Oh my goodness.
But assuming that doesn't happen, if we ever wanted to get married, and we're not talking about it in any real way.
Not yet.
But if we ever wanted to get married, we would want to be on the same page on this. So that way, God forbid I got a terminal disease, I would have full confidence that you would have them pull the plug on me.
If that's what you wanted,
yes.
Yeah.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts on this one. That is what I want. If I get a terminal disease, I want doctor-assisted suicide to be done.
No, but you're confusing doctor-assisted suicide with pulling you off of life support.
Okay.
It's not doctor-assisted
suicide. I
suicide.
could have used better verbiage, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, that just means cutting off.
I know. I could have worded it better, but let's get rid of the semantics. You know what I mean. If they say you got cancer and you're going to die in a few weeks and it's extreme pain until then, I want to be out of it that night. And I live in a state where doctor-assisted suicide is a legal option. And if we ever got married, we would have to be on the same page with you maybe being against it in theory, but in my case, you would have to respect my rights, because in that situation, you might have to speak for me because of the way I might be in so much pain that I can't articulate this. And even if it's written down ahead of time, if you're the spouse, you might be able to step in and say, no, I don't want this.
Right. Oh, you mean I would have the legal right to do that?
I don't know.
Okay.
But I'm assuming that you might, even if I had it written down ahead of time, because you could say, well, I disagree with that. And Rick's not of sound mind right now, and I am. And if you do this, you're killing him, and I will take you to court, or whatever the case
Whatever
may be.
it is, yeah.
So I would need you to respect that's my decision.
Well, we would have to have a conversation about whether or not you would give me the right to say no, even if, I mean, I don't know, because it could go either way. But
I'm telling you, I don't know quite how the law works. And if I'm not of sound mind when they give me this diagnosis, and if, God forbid, they gave me that diagnosis, the pain might be too much for me. And so even if I wrote something down that said I want to be taken out, you might be able to overrule that if you're my spouse.
Oh, boy. I really don't want to talk about this right now.
Why not? We're doing a podcast. People can listen.
Well, at least give me 20 years to think about it.
20 years?
Not 20 years. I'm just kidding.
I might be dead by then. The cancer might have spread to my urethra and my ovaries.
You don't have ovaries.
Oh, good point.
And you don't have a uterus. You do have a urethra, but not a uterus.
Thank you. That's what makes my uterine cancer so tragic. Because I don't have a uterus.
You don't have a uterus. You can't have uterine cancer.
Thank you.
Or ovarian cancer.
They say it's a miracle. It's just the type that kills. No.
Well, if you had a uterus and ovaries, we wouldn't be talking about this right now.
Thank you. But you know what I mean. At some point, we do have to have a serious conversation about this. And I hate to say this, it has to end with you agreeing with me.
Oh, jeez.
So, I guess we have to reverse the situation, even though I think based on what you said, I know the answer. But just to be clear, and you are a cancer survivor.
Yes, I am.
But if it came back aggressively and we were married and they come to me and say, Alana is in extreme pain right now and she's going to be like that until she dies, you would want me not to have you killed. You would want to
not like that. No, I don't want chemicals in me because I've already had a lot of chemicals in me. If there was a choice between like if the doctor said, oh, she only has like, I don't know, like a month. Like a month or something, I would rather just live the rest of my life with you if we ended up marrying each other, and my family and friends, and just to enjoy that month until it was time for me to go.
But we're saying that the pain is so excruciating at that point that all you're basically doing is screaming, and I'm left with the choice. And all you're doing is screaming, "Oh God, get me out of this pain," right? Or you're just yelling and nonsensical stuff. And they say she has a month left of this. What do I do? What do you want me to do in that situation?
I don't want you to do anything.
Wow. You would want to live with that type of pain for a month.
Well, I mean, assuming we're talking about
we are making a lot of assumptions.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes,
assuming that actually happens to me. I mean, if I had at least a month to live, and people have been in worse pain than, like, think of what quadriplegics go through. Okay.
I hear you.
Think about that. Quadriplegics go through a lot more pain than we could ever imagine in some cases, because they're if you for example have a diving accident, and you're and I'm referring to somebody that people may not have heard of, but suppose you get into a diving accident when you're a lot younger, and you're a quadriplegic for decades, and you've been in pain for a long time. And the easiest thing to do would be to put this person out of their misery, but they choose to live because they feel like there's a lot of things to do. There's a lot more things that they still have to do on Earth. I would say that if the doctor gave me a month, I wouldn't want to spend more time at home.
Right, but I'm saying the pain is so intense that they say you're basically just going to spend a month screaming your head off.
I really don't know how to answer that question.
Wow. And see, that's the difference between you and me. In my case, I would say, "Oh yeah, end it now then, bro. End it now. Let's wrap this stuff up."
Okay.
Yes, but that's just me.
Okay.
Well, I would like you to think about that, because I want to know what your final wishes are.
Oh my goodness. Well, I mean, if I had my way, I just would like to just die peacefully in my sleep if I did.
Yeah, and obviously what I would want, because I won't shut up about it. But I'm giving you like a horrible scenario in case we don't get what we want.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
This is a really depressing conversation.
Yeah. I used to, when I was a lot younger, past the legal statute of limitations, do a fair amount of psychedelics as a younger man. We're talking mushrooms here, babes. And some edibles. I never went like full crazy with other stuff.
You did? Okay.
No, I was always afraid of acid.
I heard some horrible things about acid.
And I'm afraid of acid because I've known of people who did it and were never the same afterwards. So that's why I've never done it, to the best of my knowledge.
Yeah, I heard it's pretty brutal.
But I got into a period of time, babes. This was before we met. This is how long ago this was. Where I had a routine I would do where occasionally I do some psychedelics and meditate or listen to some spiritual lectures. And I talked about this once with a friend of mine, and he said to me, "You have to be very careful when you're doing that, because apparently there's this thing," and I don't know if my friend was just saying this to mess with me or if this is real, but of people doing high doses of psychedelics and meditating and dying during the meditation process.
Wow.
But that would be a pretty cool way to go.
No, you don't want to do that.
Why not?
Why?
No. Why?
No, not good.
Why not?
No.
Why?
You want to preserve your mind, but not waste it.
Well, I would make the argument, and you're hold on, you're not gonna like this.
I know you said it like before.
It bears repeating, though. Huh? That you actually are preserving your mind, and a lot of people, a lot of people would also make that argument.
a lot of people that do it all the time, probably.
Oh my, not all of them.
Drug
babes.
push.
Oh my goodness. But I've also...
Sometimes I think it's better to feel than not feel at all, to tell you the truth.
But psychedelics doesn't make it to where you don't feel at all. It actually gives you more empathy.
Uh-huh.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
And I like how you're able to say something based on them never doing it. Now, maybe it doesn't help with my dyslexia, but it has helped with my empathy. And I have also told you that if I am on my deathbed, for whatever reason, I would like a high dose of psychedelics.
No.
Oh, like Aldous Huxley, except not with LSD. With mushrooms. My
Bob,
what?
Can we talk about something else? This is really depressing.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. And again, in loving memory of Elizabeth. May she rest in peace.
Oh. What am I going to do with him?
You're going to love me, okay?
I do already. Think of something else.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
We went to the store today.
Yes.
To get some snacks, and I'm very thankful of it.
Yeah.
But I was concerned about you because you were like lucid, and then it felt like as soon as we entered the store, you were kind of out of it. But then, as soon as we left the store, you were back in it.
No, I wasn't out of it at all. I was tired, but I wasn't. I knew where we were. I did accidentally spill a bottle of barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
And I think it was like on a shelf or something.
So this wasn't a 7-Eleven like I thought it was. It's like a local store. And I wasn't quite sure where the ice cream was. We go up to the register and we're waiting.
It was a little bit, it was kind of hard because he was talking to a guy that was trying to find, I think it was like rubber pieces or something.
But at one point, I say to you, hey, babes, do we just want to get these chips and drinks and go? And you're like, oh, what's going on?
No, I didn't say that.
Okay.
I was trying to say, why don't we just get it? But then he was like, oh, I'll show you guys where the ice cream is. Because I'm thinking this guy's going to take too long. And
at another point, I say, hey, babes, you should tell him about the barbecue sauce.
Yeah, I was.
And you're like, oh, barbecue sauce? Real?
Bob.
What? I love you, babes.
No, seriously, I don't think people need to know about that.
Okay, but I was just afraid that you were like really, really tired or something.
No, I wasn't. I was tired, but I wasn't. I knew where we were. Okay. I knew what we were doing. That was just from your that was your perception of it, unfortunately.
Okay.
No.
Well, I love you, babes.
I love you.
I love my Jaylo. I just kissed your hand.
I know. Because I love my leg.
Very good there, Jaylo.
No, I was definitely not out of it.
Okay.
But I was a little bit. I was a little bit irritated just because I wasn't sure how long he was going to take with the guy.
Yeah.
But we got everything we wanted, and the ice cream is safe in the freezer.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Oh, good.
And also I'm glad that we got it when we did because it's supposed to get hotter and a lot windier, and you combine those two.
I know.
Things. And I thought I smelled some smoke on the way there too. You
might have, because for some perspective, they're going to be turning off power for a lot of people this weekend. And the rationale is with the wind and trees, the energy companies are afraid that there might be an accident and it could cause a fire. Now, where we are in Multnomah County, they say that they're not going to do that here. But that doesn't mean that a fire hasn't already started someplace else and smoke hasn't traveled here.
Where is Cedar Creek?
It's it's around the way.
I don't know where it is.
I'm really, really bad with geography.
And I asked you this morning, I said, where's Marion County? And you didn't even know where that was.
Well, again, babes, you got to remember the Queen died the other day.
No. You're actually from Oregon. So
I am.
You have no excuse.
But the depression from her death.
No. You have no excuse. You are from Oregon. I should I shouldn't have to ask you where Marion County is because you should know where it is.
But the last day for me has
goodness.
just been a complete haze because of her passing.
Oh, bro.
What?
Stop mocking.
I love you, babes.
So I was reading that there was some Labor Day fires 2 years ago, which I totally forgot about. And I think there was.
I think there was too, but that period of time was so intense that it's easy just to let things slip from the memory.
And then we also experienced a windstorm sometime during that year, and I think it was
around that time.
It was around that time, and it was cold.
Yeah.
It was in the fall. I remember that. And I remember I didn't want to go outside because it was cold. And I thought I heard some fire trucks already during that storm. Because I think we had it for a couple of days, I think it was.
Yeah, 2020 was just intense.
And thank goodness I didn't have a power outage and you didn't.
I know.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm thinking, babes.
Yeah.
About investing in some portable power banks. So are you familiar with them?
What is that?
Okay, so basically they're like a big battery, and the way they work is you plug them into the wall and then charge them. And a lot of people will take them if they're going out of town or to a different country where the outlets are different.
Yeah.
And that way, if your phone is near dead with the power or a laptop, you just plug them into the power banks and charge them from there.
Really?
And you can usually store up enough energy for 3 or 4 different charges.
Wow.
But I'm thinking because the weather is getting more and more extreme, even though it's not from climate change, as you say.
No.
It might make some sense to buy a couple of those. So if we hear, for example, during the winter that they're expecting big power outages in the city, we could charge 3 or 4 of those up and then power our tech devices of choices in the case that something actually does happen.
Don't they have portable generators?
They might, but I think that those are really bulky and really expensive. These power banks, you could fit them in your bag pretty easily.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're smaller. How small are the batteries?
Well, it varies from device to device, but I think they're roughly the size of the iPad, just a little bit more bulky.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The banks?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm considering buying a couple of them just to have.
Well, what about powering stoves or microwaves or whatever you're using to cook stuff?
It probably wouldn't work with a stove.
Probably not. Okay.
But depending on the model, I don't think it would work with a microwave, but I could be wrong. Okay. But also, if you had access to your technology, let's say the power is out for a couple of days.
Yep.
One that could help you keep track of the progress they're making in getting power back in your area.
Right.
And 2, it would also just help with keeping you entertained.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true.
Yes. So, I don't know. There might be ones that work with microwaves. I'm sure there would have to be.
Or, I don't know, something like that.
Because people also take them when they go camping.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I always wondered that because if the power is out, then none of your sockets would work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you just charge it. So if you know that the power outage is coming in a day, you take that time and you charge your power banks.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how long do they usually charge for?
I don't know. I haven't had one.
Okay.
But I'm going to do some research into this.
Huh.
Yes.
Interesting.
Interesting, babe.
Very good.
Yes.
But no, I'm glad my groceries got here. I'm glad we were able to pick stuff up really quickly. And that's good.
Yeah, we didn't get everything we wanted because, for example, this store didn't have Ruffles and they only carried Coke products. So we got Cherry Coke.
Which is fine because I don't drink Cherry Coke very often.
Yeah, and I would have preferred Cherry Pepsi, but it's...
I would have, yeah. I would have definitely preferred a wild cherry Pepsi, but that's okay.
Right, but in the grand scheme of things, Cherry Coke is the best kind of Coke. So,
Well, one of them.
And that way, to when I talk to my friends on Sunday and they say, "What did you do this weekend?" I could say, "Oh, I spent Friday in bed messing around with Alana and doing a bunch of coke."
Oh my goodness.
What?
Bubs.
What? And I'll be honest, boy.
Bubs.
What?
Would you stop it?
What?
I don't want to be a part of it.
Oh my goodness.
Would you stop that?
It's a joke, babes.
Oh my.
It's all in good fun, little Jaylo. It's all in good fun.
Okay, but why do you have to put me and Coke in the same sentence?
Well, I'm just telling you what I'm going to tell my friends that I did on Friday.
Ugh.
By the way,
Yes?
did you know apparently they still use real cocoa leaves in the production of Coca-Cola?
I think you told me that, yeah.
Oh, I did? Okay.
Yeah, we talked about this before.
I heard about that on Joe Rogan.
And I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
I thought they got rid of those.
Well, they no longer use pure cocaine, but they still use the cocoa leaves that cocaine comes from.
Yeah.
Yeah, coca leaves.
Coca leaves, yeah.
Yeah, I can never speak.
Yeah, cocoa is a bean.
I know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cocoa is a bean or a cacao.
Yes.
I don't know the difference between the cocoa bean or the cacao bean. I don't know if it's the same thing.
I think it basically is.
Okay.
But what do I know there, Jay? Well, anything I say today that goes off wrong, remember I'm still in mourning. And it's a miracle that I'm doing this at all.
Bubs.
What?
You're the one who said we should talk about it. That's
I know. That is me. That is. Yes. Anyways, we'll drop that for now. And just know that while we may be laughing, you are hearing tears of a clown. Because I'm crying inside today.
Tears of a clown when there's no one around.
Exactly. Dun, 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 dun. That's a good song.
That's a great song.
Yes. Jaylo.
Yes.
We hung out Sunday night.
Yes.
And then I ended up leaving super early Monday morning. But we watched a few things.
Yeah.
Tell me about the first film we saw.
We saw Heathers, which I did not... I only saw parts of it, and I only saw parts of it on TV.
Yes.
That stars Winona Ryder and Christian Slater.
And Shannon Doherty plays a Heather, who lives pretty much to the end of the movie.
Heather Duke.
Yes.
Heather
Heather Dookie.
Dookie.
Keep going, babes.
Okay, so this is the basic premise of Heathers. There's these 3 popular girls in this high school. I forgot the name of it. And they're called Heather. Each of their names are Heather. Heather Duke, Heather Chandler, and the other one, which I don't know what her last name is.
Heather Heatherson.
Heather Heatherson.
Yep.
Here's a side note. Did you know, have you ever seen, what heather is?
It's like a flower, right?
I think it's like a flower or some kind of a plant or a shrub or something. Yeah.
Nice.
But anyway, so Heather Chandler is like the head Heather of the Heathers. And I don't know who plays her, but she's good.
Oh.
Veronica is Winona Ryder, and she's hanging out with these 3 Heathers. They're like her best friends or whatever. Or I don't know. Anyway, she is really annoyed with this Heather because she doesn't want Veronica to talk to any of the geeks or any of the losers that Heather thinks are losers. And she's kind of going about her business, and she meets this guy named Jason Dean, aka JD, who's played by a young Christian Slater.
Yep.
They start hanging out, and Veronica doesn't really know much about this guy. She just knows that she really likes him, and they start dating for a bit. Would you like to fill in some stuff?
Jason is a bit of a lady killer.
Literally.
Yeah.
He's a crazy person.
They go over to Heather's place. Heather
Chandler. Because Veronica's thinking they've got to do something about this girl.
Jason makes her a drink. She drops dead. And now everybody starts thinking that Heather Chandler was a really deep person.
And she falls on a piece of, what is it?
Oh, so I thought she fell through like some glass.
Oh, I think it was a coffee table. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
She fell through a coffee table.
Like a glass coffee table.
And that's how she died.
Yep.
Kind of a sad but kind of funny way she did.
And one of the jocks is spreading rumors around the school about Veronica.
Yep.
So Jason has the idea, why don't we invite him and one of his friends out to the woods? And or in front of the school, rather.
Yep.
Or near the school, something like that.
Yeah, it's in the woods somewhere.
Yeah, maybe behind the school.
Yeah.
It's been a couple of days.
Yep.
And tell each of the guys that you want to have sex with them, but tell them to show up pretty much in their underwear.
Yep.
We're going to plant gay stuff on them. And by the way, this was made in the 80s before our society was so politically correct.
And this was around the time that people were still learning more about AIDS.
And about gay culture and all that stuff. And jocks of this period were known to be a little bit homophobic. So that's why we're allowed to laugh at this. Okay. He also says, we're going to shoot them with a gun, and it's not going to kill them, but a little bit of blood will come out, and it's probably going to make them unconscious for a while.
Yep.
Well, let's just say these are real guns.
And real bullets.
JD and Veronica killed these two gentlemen. And then, Jaylo, would you like to continue? Why I cry about the Queen?
Oh my goodness.
Sorry,
would you stop?
All right, go ahead.
That's enough mocking for the day.
All right, go ahead.
And Veronica gets very, very upset with him and says, you told me they weren't real bullets. These are real bullets. We actually killed these people. And I think this is around the time where she says, you know what? It's over. I don't want to ever see you again. Because you're crazy. Meanwhile, she's trying to get her, reputation back, and all the students can talk about is Heather Chandler, because they think that, oh, she committed suicide, and that one hippie teacher is trying to get the students together, and Veronica thinks she's a weirdo, and everybody else does too.
And now people are also talking about the jocks and their secret love affair.
Yes. And then she fantasizes about killing the other Heather, which is Heather Duke. I think that's Shannon Doherty's character.
Yep.
She doesn't kill her. I think she has a crazy dream about killing her, but it doesn't happen apparently. Meanwhile, Veronica's trying to get Jason off of her mind, but she can't get him off of her mind. And she's like, oh, maybe I should give him another chance. And I think in the midst of all that, I think, did she meet his dad
early in the movie?
Okay.
Yeah.
She finds out that his dad is just as messed up as he is, because his dad just
blows up buildings.
And surprise, surprise, like father, like son, Jason has a killing streak.
Yes.
So meanwhile, fast forward, Jason's trying to get Veronica back. And they're trying to have this pep assembly. Am I missing anything?
You are. I'll just fill in quickly.
Okay.
At first, Jason's thinking about killing Veronica. She knows this based on what Jason told her parents, so she fakes her suicide. He goes into her room and confesses that he wants to blow up the school, leaves. We find out that she's not really dead, and the next day, there is an assembly where people present their pep.
Right, the pep assemblies.
Yes.
Yep. And I remember those because I got to get out of class early. That was part of the band. Anyway, so they're in the boiler room. She's trying to disarm JD because there's a bomb, and I think she's got a gun, correct?
He has one, and she eventually gets it from him.
Yeah.
if I remember right.
And it's supposed to self-destruct in... How many minutes was it?
I think it was like 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe 10. I could be wrong.
Yeah, and it's supposed to self-destruct. And she's trying to figure out a way to get the bomb away from him and the gun away. And she's saying, this is really stupid. You're really psycho. Why would you even think about doing that? And I think his excuse was, well, life is meaningless and I've moved around a lot and I don't really care about any of the lives here. And go on and fill the rest, he would.
Eventually, she stops this guy, but they end up outside of the school. She goes back in, and everybody is safe.
Yep.
Even Heather Dookie lives to the end of the movie.
It's Duke.
Duke.
Not Dookie. Well, she acted like Dookie in the middle of the movie.
And that's pretty much it.
Yeah. I think this is a classic 80s movie about mean girls and jocks. And crazy boys that end up almost being shooters.
I would say it's a good teenage comedy from the 80s about a woman who is disenfranchised with her social position and falls for the wrong guy.
Yep.
Yeah. I think that Christian Slater gave an amazing performance in this film.
He really was a psycho in this movie.
Like, I still think his best role was as Happy Harry Hard-On in Pump Up the Volume.
Right.
But this film is legit. He's good in this
He
movie.
is very good. You really do believe that he's a psycho.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I thought it was really good. It's not the best movie I've ever seen, but I'd give it a strong 7.
Yeah, I'd give it a strong 7 too. I mean, it's not a movie that I'd like to watch every Friday night, but you see a young Winona Ryder, and I liked her character. I did.
I did too. Now, I will say it feels a little bit weird watching this movie in 2022, not just because of obviously the gay jokes, but also even more so because of all the school shootings we've had since the time this film came out.
I mean, this was like this kid was very disturbed. I'm talking about Jason Dean in the movie. Very disturbed. He seemed kind of normal at first and a little bit quirky, but he's really disturbed. And probably because he was moving around, so he didn't have a lot of stability. And his dad blew up buildings.
Yeah.
And was proud of it. He just thought it was the funniest thing ever. But then you think about Dylan Klebold and Eric Harris and all the other shooters that would follow after, and when did their ideas start, and you find out like some of the shooters have been I think some of them have tried to make like pipe bombs, I think
you're right.
Explosives.
Yeah.
Homemade explosives, which sounds like something Jason Dean would do.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it just makes me think Jason Dean is like, might be your quintessential teenage high school shooter. Except he's not real.
Except he's not real.
Yeah.
And I don't want to give this movie too much credit. I've never heard it referenced as an inspirational film by these crazy people who shoot up schools.
Right, exactly.
But you could see this film, and if you were a school shooter or about to be one, you could see how somebody could be a little bit influenced by this movie.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because Veronica thinks of killing Heather.
Mm-hmm.
He actually goes ahead and does it.
But there's also the scene in the cafeteria near the beginning of the movie where the jocks start harassing Jason and he pulls out a gun.
Yep.
Now, it turns out that it had blanks in it.
Yep.
But they didn't know that at the time.
No, it didn't. No.
Yeah, and he kills people later on in the movie.
He does. He really does. And he doesn't seem to have any remorse for it.
So it's interesting watching it now.
Yeah.
And I think I would have liked it better if I had seen it in 97 Not only because I was younger, but because school shootings weren't as prevalent as they are today.
And, I mean, we didn't know that 11 years later, this was going to happen. The Columbine shooting was going to happen.
You mean 11 years after this movie came out?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, it's interesting.
Exactly.
It is.
Yes. Yes. Would you recommend this movie to your family?
I don't know. They might like it. I mean, it's a teenage dark comedy. They might like it.
Good.
If they like Winona Ryder and Christian Slater.
They do.
They do?
Yeah, why not?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Then we watched a very... is there anything else you want to say about it?
I thought I'm not Heather, but I thought Veronica's parents were so out of touch.
Yes.
Very disconnected with what Veronica was feeling.
Oh.
Really disconnected.
Should we move on to the documentary?
Yes.
It was a very jarring film about Arthur Miller, the man who wrote Death of a Salesman and The Crucible. Yep. I mean, the first hour was really good.
Yeah.
It
wasn't it like an hour and a half or something?
Oh, until the thing came up?
Huh? No, I mean, like, wasn't the documentary like for at least an hour and a half?
Yeah, but I'm saying the first hour was really good.
Yeah.
And then we found out something that really took me out of the movie.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming you too.
Well, I don't know if it took me out of the movie, but I was really...
I was very disturbed.
It was disturbing.
Yeah, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
Basically talks about how his father immigrated to this family and he was the last member of his, nuclear family unit to do so because they thought he was going to be like a slow kid. And then Arthur Miller is eventually born, goes through life, starts writing these plays, marries Marilyn Monroe, divorces her, then meets the love of his wife. Yeah, the love of his life. Inga. And their daughter ended up directing this film. And I'm really enjoying it. And it's talking about how he was this super lefty who refused to conform to the House on American Activities. And that's what he wrote The Crucible about. It was a pushback to the conservatives who were trying to blacklist people, which I did not know, but it makes complete sense now. And I'm really enjoying it because I'm also into lefty politics and he's an artist and I can dig it. Okay. Right? Then we find out something that was very disturbing to me. And that was that Arthur Miller and his wife Inga had a son who was born with Down syndrome, and they decided to institutionalize him pretty much right after he was born. And Arthur Miller refused to acknowledge that he had a son publicly.
Well, you have to remember, too, she did say, his daughter, I don't know what her name is, she did say that they did start visiting him a lot more, and she was visiting him a lot more, and they ended up getting close to him, his family did, but Arthur Miller, for some reason, refused to talk about him publicly.
To the extreme that when he wrote an autobiography, he refused to even mention that he had a son with his wife, Inga.
It was really sad. And then his daughter admitted that he was thinking about putting him in the documentary. She was thinking about putting her brother in the documentary, but her dad didn't want her to do that. And it felt very ableist, that portion of the movie. But then, I mean, what I didn't understand is, and I'm sure you didn't understand this either, is this documentary was put together after he died, correct? Yes, but the way I understand it is she was working on this film before he passed away. And it just happened to come out later. But what I don't understand is after that the film was made, before it was put out, I wish that she would have decided, okay, Dad's not here anymore. I want to put my brother in the documentary and tell his story.
But she didn't want that.
But she didn't do that.
And that's why I said it felt very ableist to me.
I would agree.
You're intentionally telling us this thing while also wanting us to believe that this was a good family man. But yet, if you have a disability, he doesn't want to acknowledge you. And it felt like you didn't want to acknowledge your brother, but you knew if you didn't, it would come out and this would be a criticism. So it felt like neither her or her dad wanted to acknowledge him, the brother.
Yeah, it was really, yeah.
And I think she fails as a filmmaker because of that.
Yeah, I think she should have put him in after her dad died.
Yeah. And honestly, as much as I like the first half of this movie, I can't recommend it. I after thinking about it, I can't, because it's such a big lie to the audience, wanting us to believe that he was a good father and having such little recognition of his son.
I mean, I understand that in his day, people with disabilities were not, the way that they handled the care of people with disabilities was not, they didn't know how to handle it.
Right.
I understand that, but not even mentioning that you have a son with Down syndrome is just, I can't even believe that. So
it goes so far to where we're not even sure when their son was born. We just know that it happened when he was married to his wife, Inga. Which I'm assuming, because it was after the death of Marilyn, this probably happened in the late 60s and early 70s.
Yeah.
I read a book this morning, I think it's called The Child That Never Grew Up, by Pearl S. What's her last name? Like Pearl S. Budd?
You said a book, so I'm not
Buck,
sure.
yeah, it's Pearl S. Buck. And this book came out in 1950. Now, the reason I bring that up is because the book is all about her relationship with her daughter, who we don't get a diagnosis as a reader, but the daughter was basically born with some sort of mental issue and never really matured past the age of 3.
Wow.
But the book came out in 1950. And Pearl talks about what it was like having her daughter institutionalized at the age of 11.
Wow.
And in 1950,
yeah,
she also talks about how that was a very, very difficult decision for her to make. And Pearl grew up in China, and she said Chinese people would rarely allow something like that to happen. Even back then, it would be considered something that the family would take care of you.
Pearl grew up in China?
Yes.
You mean they institutionalized her in China?
No, they didn't. She had her daughter institutionalized here in the U.S.
Oh.
But
she adopted her.
No. This was Pearl's natural daughter.
Yeah.
She was born in I think the daughter was born in China.
Oh, I see.
But they moved to Pearl was in the U.S.
Oh.
And she was saying how in China you would not put a child in an institution.
Oh, that's
and this was and again, the book came out in 1950, before Arthur Miller had his son. So yes, I understand that he's a product of his time, but it's not like every parent just made this flippant decision to cut their kid out of their life.
No. It wasn't.
Even back then.
No, not at all. I guess I'm surprised that the Chinese would not institutionalize their kids, because hearing now, how communistic the regime is.
Yep.
I'm really surprised that they didn't institutionalize kids with disabilities.
And I actually am too. And again, I've only heard her take on this. By the way, Pearl is really interesting. I don't know a lot about her, but what I understand is she's American. But her family was a missionary. So she grew up in China.
Okay, so she's a missionary kid.
Exactly.
Okay.
But she spent basically her entire childhood there.
Wow.
From what I could gather.
Okay.
So Arthur Miller doesn't get a pass from me. Now, maybe if he institutionalized his son and he acknowledged it and he felt bad about it, then I could say he's more of a product of his time. But from the way this came out, no, you don't get a pass from me, bro. I can respect you as an artist, but I can't respect you as a man.
Well, you don't have to. He's dead now.
I don't have to.
Yeah, he's dead now. And I mean, if I ever had a chance to talk to his daughter, I don't know what her name is, I would ask her the question, why did you not want to, why did you think it was a good decision not to put your brother in the documentary even when your father was gone?
Yeah.
Because I think the audience should know that.
Well, and I think she in the film says it's to respect her brother's privacy.
Yeah.
But let's read between the lines. That sounds very fake to me. That sounds like you just don't want to acknowledge him.
Uh-huh.
And you felt like you're doing the least you can by mentioning him.
I mean, I just cannot imagine, like, my family, like, cutting me out of pictures or not even talking about me when I'm the only blind child in the family.
Exactly.
They always talk about me. They've always acknowledged that I was a part of the family. They never left me out of anything. So I can't imagine.
And if this film was just about him as an artist, maybe you could kind of excuse it and say, well, that wasn't the focus. Mm-hmm. But a big part of this is him as a family man.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I loved elements of this film, but I can't recommend it because of that.
I mean, I like that he was really, he would joke around with his family while he was making something, was cooking something. But what about that? What about their son who never got to have times in the family house? And I'm assuming that he never got to actually go to the house, but they would visit him.
And it made it sound like the mom visited him, and Arthur Miller only started visiting the kid near the end of his life.
And this is just from our perspective.
Yeah,
we're just looking at
we weren't there, but this is what little we gathered from what little was said in the documentary.
Right, exactly. So, I mean, if it were not for that blip in the documentary, then I would recommend it too.
Yeah, and by the way, you still can. I'm just telling you my thoughts on that.
I mean, I would recommend it, but then just I would probably give whoever was watching it a disclaimer.
Yeah,
this is very disturbing.
Exactly.
Yeah, I would still recommend it. You don't have to recommend it.
No, I don't have to recommend it, but I'm cool with you recommending it because I would if it wasn't for this.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, wow. I would hear about that like in a third world country.
Yep.
Or at least they would acknowledge, like the family would acknowledge the child, but they would handle the child differently.
Exactly.
Yeah, they would still acknowledge the person. They would still acknowledge him or her.
Yep. And for Arthur Miller just to not even acknowledge his son.
Yeah, I know.
Is so over the top wrong.
It is. And speaking of institutions, I don't know if I mentioned this, but the school that I went to used to be an institution a long time ago.
That's right.
Before it became a blind school.
Yes.
Did I say that? Did I mention it before?
I don't know if you mentioned it here, but I did know about that. The blind school in Vancouver.
Oh, did I tell you that, or did you hear about it somewhere?
I thought you told me that, but maybe it was somebody else.
I don't remember telling you that, honestly.
Okay, it had to be somebody else then.
Yeah, so it used to be an institution before it became a blind school.
Nice.
Isn't that interesting?
That is interesting.
Yep.
Well, good.
It had the concrete walls. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm happy about that there, Jaylo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, babes.
Yeah?
We've covered a lot here.
Yeah,
did we talk about... no, we did. I was going to say, did we talk about watching The Simpsons? But I think that was the day before.
We did.
Yeah.
I think that was the day before, yes.
Yes. Well, good.
Well,
yeah, that was when we watched Homo's Enemy.
That was a really funny episode.
That's a great episode.
I really thought that was hilarious.
Yes.
And Frank Grimes ends up electrocuting himself and dying. Grimy, or as he's like to call.
Well, good, babes. Is there anything else you want to discuss?
I think I might have to rest after this.
Oh, I thought you would.
Because I did not. I tried to sleep earlier.
Nice.
But hopefully not too long, because we're going to do some baking.
Yep.
And cooking.
That's right. And morning.
Oh my goodness.
Oh. Life will never be the same.
Bubs.
What?
What if?
I was listening to Howard Stern this week. Because they're just back from the vacation.
Yeah.
They take so much vacation time now.
Well, how long is their vacation?
They went on vacation at the end of June.
Okay, wow.
Yeah,
that's
for a radio show, that
is a long time. Usually, like, a person is gone for like a week.
I know, but he's like super old and rich now. But his dad passed away over the vacation.
Really?
Yeah.
How old was his dad?
99. Howard said that he had just turned 99.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
He just made to 99.
Exactly.
And how old is Howard?
He is 68.
Is he only 68?
Yeah, he's going to be 69 next year.
Oh, wow.
Yep. And, you know, the 69 obviously is a sexual position. So when they were doing the show from the studio for all those years, they used to say, oh, we're broadcasting from Studio 69.
Wah, wah.
Which is, you know, a fun joke.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
But he's still not back in the studio because of COVID, and he's an old guy, so.
He's still doing that? He's still broadcasting from his house?
He's still broadcasting from his basement.
Oh, jeez.
Yes.
It's been 2 years.
I know.
2 years.
Yeah. But you know what? If it keeps the show on a little bit longer, then I'm for it. I do think, babes, that had COVID not happened, because his contract was up at the end of 2020, I believe he would have left and no longer be doing the radio show.
Well, how long has his show been on?
It's been on Sirius since 2006, but it's been on... I know that him and Robin have been doing it since like 81. And he did it before, a version of it before then. Oh, wow. Yeah.
Since 1981?
Since 1981, him and Robin have been on-air partners.
That's almost as long as I've been alive.
It might even be like 1980.
Wow.
It was 80 or 81. It was something
it really would be as long as I've been alive.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, yeah, I have recordings of him from Detroit from the late 70s doing a show. But obviously, Fred wasn't on it and Robin wasn't there, so.
A radio show on
he was interviewing, this was in Detroit, he was interviewing some like local kids talk show host.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then I have the Christmas show they did in DC in 1981.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Anyways.
Anyway.
Yeah. That stuff I'm going to leave you in my will, It will, assuming you tell the doctors to kill me.
Oh my goodness.
If you don't, you're not getting those.
What?
Yes. But I love you, babes.
What else? Oh my goodness.
Well, Jaylo?
Yeah?
Anything else you want to discuss?
No.
Okay. Well, I think we should wrap this up with a kiss.
Okay, kissy.
Okay. In honor of the queen.
Oh my goodness, Bubs. You funny.
Funny boy.
You can be cute while you're in mourning, or rather, not in mourning.
I'm taking it really hard.
No, you're not.
I'm not.
I don't hear any sobbing or I don't feel any tears.
Barely holding it together.
Oh my goodness. Silly.
Babes,
yes.
How can people reach us if they want to discuss their grief over the queen a little bit more?
You can't reach us.
Oh, good point. It's probably all for the best. We all mourn in our own way, babes.
Okay.
Well, Jaylo, I think we're going to wrap this up.
That's right.
All right, bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.